Recorded books and one-click digital present Neither Snow Nor Rain, A History of the United States Postal Service by Devin Leonard. Narrated by L.J. Ganser. Prologue. Growing up in Queens, Evan Kalish didn't go to the post office very often. When he needed to send somebody something, he used his computer, and later his iPhone. But everything changed after Kalish graduated from Brown University in 2008. He wanted to see the whole country, and set off on a 3-month road trip to Minnesota in his Toyota Camry. He took pictures of himself in front of post offices in every town he visited, so he had proof that he had actually been to these out-of-the-way places. And he started sending letters to his friends while he was on the road. "I really got into it," he says. The more post offices he visited, the more fascinated Kalish became. They were everywhere, and each one was different. When he returned to New York, Kalish was so inspired that he decided to visit every post office in America. It would take years, of course. There were 36,723 post offices in the United States. So what? Kalish would see the whole nation by the time he was through. Kalish created a blog, cheerfully entitled Going Postal, and began to chronicle his travels on the Internet. He visited every post office in New York City and Long Island, and most of the ones in northern New Jersey. He traveled I-95, snapping pictures of himself in front of post offices from Baltimore to Boston. Kalish swooned over the one in Nashville, the walls of which were decorated with hundreds of autographed photos of country music stars. He was charmed by a purple post office in Phillipsville, California, near the Oregon border. He cultivated a palate for the stylish post offices constructed during the New Deal era, which often had splendid murals, some of them painted by famous American artists, like Ben Shahn and Milton Avery. The murals turned Kalish's journey into a treasure hunt. "It's almost like the institution is a giant museum," Kalish says. "It's fun to try to see if you can find all the galleries." Sometimes postmasters tried to chase Kalish away, saying that he had no right to take pictures of their buildings. What if he was a terrorist? Kalish responded that they couldn't hassle him as long as he was outside on public property. Others recognized Kalish from his blog and gave him tours, pulling old photographs from their filing cabinets to show him. Kalish made a lot of friends this way, which was nice for someone who could be rather shy. By the end of 2010, Kalish had visited 1,561 post offices and had made an unexpected discovery. He wasn't alone. He met a man who had been to 20,000 post offices over the course of 40 years. He befriended 2 others, who had each been to more than 10,000. Kalish went on a summer excursion with his fellow enthusiasts to visit post offices on islands off the coast of Maine. They chartered a boat and went to McMahon Island. There are no roads on McMahon Island, just unmarked trails. But there was a post office waiting for them. They took a ferry to Buston's Island to visit another one in a small yellow building along with the public library. "The ferry we happened to take was also the mail ferry," Kalish wrote on his blog. Kalish announced on Going Postal that he had been to another 1,253 post offices in 2011. But the more Kalish immersed himself in the infrastructure of the U.S. Postal Service, the more there was to see. He now understood that behind all of those post offices, there was a network of 461 processing plants, some with floors big enough to hold several football fields, through which millions of letters and packages flowed. He couldn't just walk into these places. They weren't public buildings. But with the help of his postal connections, he found people who let him in. Everywhere Kalish looked, he saw mail trucks and mailboxes. To think that he had spent most of his life oblivious of them all. But Kalish needed to move quickly. The U.S. Postal Service was awash in red ink. In 2011, it revealed that it had lost $8.5 billion the year before. As people abandoned the mail, it wanted to
Sample complete. Ready to continue?